All right. Welcome one, welcome all. Episode 39 of the Casey and Tyler Show. Gonna give it a try on Riverside this week. See how it goes. Big test here for our boys at Riverside.
Big test. This is their last shot, or I'm fucking done with them.
Yeah. Obviously, gonna talk a lot about Super Bowl. What a game that was. I got some sports news updates. Try to fly through those because obviously we really just want to talk about the weekend, the Super Bowl. We'll talk a little bit about waste management and then volleyball update for you guys. We still suck, but we'll talk about that. As always, Casey, on this Monday, which will end up being a Tuesday, anything you would like to say before we get started?
Let's fucking do this.
All right, let's do it. Casey, just some quick things I wanted to add to the show sheet. Did you see the new MLB rules that came out?
No, I
today?
didn't. I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
First time I saw him was on the show sheet.
So these are both unanimously confirmed by the owners and MLB. So there will be a runner that starts at second base and extra innings going forward until the game is decided. I should have looked this up. I would be surprised if this carries over to the postseason, but I know for sure in all regular season games.
Well, wasn't that always a thing?
Yeah, I when I was reading it, not always a thing. I think.
Well, not always. Like the past 2 to 3 years, I thought it came about.
No, so hold on. Let me pull. I have the article up right here. So it said that. Because I kind of thought the same thing. I was like, I didn't really recognize that this was super new, but here's what it said in the article. It says,
like, I thought COVID brought, or like it was either COVID brought it out, or like the year before COVID, they brought out like an extras during the regular season. You have a man start on second always.
So I don't think it was a thing last year. So this says Major League Baseball is making it permanent in all regular season extra inning games. Your runner will be placed on second base to begin the 10th inning. Every subsequent inning after that, blah, blah, blah. And it says, Rob Manfred has intimated all winter that the rule would return in 2023. So I wonder if, like, they, because of the last bargaining agreement, something, if they didn't have it in there. So even if it was last year, it was not set to return. So I guess this just confirms that it'll be back or what.
So they tried it for a year, got rid of it for a year, and now
I
it's
think
back.
so. Well, I know it was a thing during the COVID season because they were really worried about pitchers' arms because they didn't have like a full spring training. So these long extra inning games were like decimated. It could be like really bad for teams. So it says first conceived during the pandemic to protect pitchers' arms and then continued through last year's shortened spring training because of the lockout. The league is making it permanent as teams and players seem to approve of it. So even if it was there last year, I think there was a little bit uncertainty if they just did it because remember how they had like the lockout at the beginning of spring training. So I wonder if they're like, oh, another shortened spring training, we'll bring it back. So I guess this is just saying that they're making it permanent. The bigger rule change was that they're changing when teams can utilize position players to pitch. So a position player can only pitch if the leading team is up by 10 or more runs in the ninth inning, or the trailing team is down by 8 plus runs anytime, or the game goes into extra innings. I think that last year we saw more than any year in the past, basically managers just mailing it in. They get down like 5 runs in the fourth. They're like, we're not going to waste our bullpen on this game. And I think that the MLB was really worried about the competitive balance in some of these situations. So I don't mind this rule change. It's always fun when you do see a position player get in there, but let's be honest, they're throwing meatballs, dude.
Very few that can actually do something.
There are very few that actually can pitch. Like most of them don't even try to throw it more than 60 miles an hour. So I guess now as a manager, you probably have to designate who's a pitcher only and who's a position player. And where does a guy like Ohtani fall? On days that he doesn't start, is he not allowed to come in relief or something? I don't know. That seems like a little odd.
Well,
I mean,
I think it's Otani's different because like he's not going to come in relief.
what if it's like in September and he hasn't pitched in 4 days and they're about to go into, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But I agree. Like typically in the regular season, you don't see them breaking like the cycle from the starting rotation. Yeah. So those two rule changes or updates, MLB confirmed today. Tiger Woods plays golf this week, confirmed on I think Saturday it was of the Waste Management that he will play the Genesis Invitational this week.
I mean that's his tournament, so
right. But I think the cool thing is I saw an interview where they like informed some players and like their faces just lit up. Like it sounded like it was like the players were really, really excited. And obviously like with Tiger's leg injury and then the plantar fasciitis, a lot of players and golf pundits are, skeptical about how many tournaments Tiger really has left in him. So I think any of these guys, when they get a chance to tee it up with Tiger, are obviously fired up about it. I can't wait to watch.
I saw something funny that was like, well, Tiger just locked up the PIP of the year.
The PIP of the year, yeah, I saw that too. Yeah,
he just has to play once and he wins it.
Yeah, I think Riggs tweeted that because when the news broke, it was like he was trending 3 different ways. It was just Tiger Woods Genesis, and Tiger Woods playing or something like that. It was like 3 different taglines were all. I was like, yeah, he just won the PIP, like no doubt. So that just shows you how big he. I mean, he's the Michael Jordan of golf. I mean, he's that like when you talk about global icons, when he's that big,
right?
And I even like hearing Max Homa talk about how like his, he still gets nervous when he meets Tiger or like isn't, he's like, and I've known him. He's like, but there's just a different air, he's like, it's just different. So
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, I think it makes a tournament that otherwise would, I mean, I'd have it on, but I don't know how close of attention I'd be paying to now. I'm going to be locked in on hopefully, I'm sure he'll be in the featured group at least the first 2 days. And then hopefully he plays well enough to obviously make the cut and everything else. So, and the last thing here, not that we're doing one on today's show, but it will be fun going forward. I think it's officially mock draft season. Now that the football season's done, I'm looking forward to, I know we do ourselves, we both like to go on the mock draft simulator and kind of mess around. So I'm looking forward to that.
We'll do it one week and we'll do the show on Zoom and we'll share the screen. So both of us can see it and we'll do one together.
Yeah, I think that'd be a fun segment. And plus, it's always fun to just kind of see like who might fall there based on, PFF's projections or whatnot. So, sucks that NFL season's over. It's a sad day. It's a bad day.
Yeah, I hate this day.
Yeah.
Wake up and realize football season's over.
And we're just in a lull period now where it's like, well, thank God March Madness is around the corner and we just got to suffer until then. Especially locally.
We have the USFL coming up in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. Sweet. But like locally, it sucks. Like the Red Wings aren't all that great. Pistons stink. So
Red Wings suck. Pistons suck.
There's just not a big. Yeah. Well, I mean.
They're coming. Their season's coming up, and it's just like there's really nothing looking forward to.
Pitchers and catchers just reported, I believe, or they report this week, one of the two. And then obviously I didn't put this on here, but we talked about last show. Full Swing comes out Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that. I told Kelsey, I said, this is perfect timing. I get Valentine's Day out of the way, then I'll talk to you in a couple of days.
Right. Since it comes out on Wednesday, I won't be able to watch it Wednesday, but.
Yeah. Oh, well, the good thing is like you'll be able to binge it this weekend. I think it's only 6 episodes.
Oh, yeah. It'll be definitely done by Sunday night.
We'll be talking about it on Monday. That would be my assumption. So, all right, Casey, let's get into our weekend recap here. We had volleyball on Sunday. Thank God we were the early games, I should say. So we were able to get home and get settled and get, whatever we needed to do. So how do you think it went?
So the first game was decent. We started out to a rough start. Teammates showed up. One showed up on time. The other one showed up, I think, 15 minutes late.
Yeah, we were like well into the first game before she showed up.
Yeah,
So
but
we had to have the lady that like runs it, like does the scoreboard and like is like I guess the chaperone or she works for the facility. And so
yeah,
she subbed with us, which I think she's one of our teammates' cousins.
yeah, she's
I think
Carly's cousin.
Carly's cousin. So it worked out. I mean, we were highly competitive in that game for
We
sure.
were, and then the second game we got our ass whooped.
Yeah, I don't think we even scored 10 points.
No, we got to 9.
Yeah.
And
well,
then
the one guy went off.
Yeah, the one dude was kind of pissing me off. He was like cocky.
Yeah, well, and also just a stickler for the rules and like
Stickler, yeah, like dude got pissed when one of dude. I get it, it's a close game, but literally you did it the very next game when they were whooping our ass and he didn't do it.
Yeah, I guess when someone serves it over, you're not allowed to hit it with one hand directly back over. You can like push it over, you can bump it over, but you can't just basically spike it on the first volley. I'm assuming. I don't know. I didn't read the rules. I didn't get a handout about the rules. I'm just there trying to just play. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, he's one of those hardos, man. I think he thinks that the United States Olympic volleyball team's scouting him there because
he's probably having someone
seriously.
recording him. This dude took it way serious. Like literally hitting the ball as hard as he can. Like, dude, we're literally competing for probably nothing. And you're acting like we're competing for a fucking world championship here. Like, I get being competitive and all that, but it's like, dude, come on.
You know, it's funny, though, because I told Kelsey I was bitching about the whole way home, and then we stopped at Dan's to get lunch because she had never been there. And so we're sitting there, and I'm sitting there, and I start smirking. She's like, what? I was like, I'm just thinking, like, if I could spike like he I probably would do the same thing, though. like now that I've been, like, if I was 6'2", I might take advantage of it.
Well, yeah.
Like, but if I was up 25-2, I would. If it was 24-24, I'm going to go get the point. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? We are still yet to win a game. The second team we played, probably my favorite team to play against. They're just such cool people. They didn't care. Like, there was one time where I double hit. We're not sure if it was technically double hit. And they're like, just play it. We don't care. We just volleying back and forth. They were fun. And they're also a good team. But it was fun because they were just there to have fun. They didn't really care. They know the state of our team, obviously. We got a lot of underhand serves, which was good. That was fun. Those were more competitive games, but I think the second – we always seem to play so well our first game, and then we lose, and we just kind of like –
it just goes downhill from there, yeah.
Yeah, we never do this. It's always like this. You know what I mean? Like we peak first game, and then it sucks the rest of the way.
Yep.
Hopefully – well, we gave our team captain, the one that showed up late, a hard talking to. We told her that she cannot not show up. Like we don't have subs, so it's us four and we're rocked. So that was fun. It was still fun. I mean I've been really enjoying it.
Me too. We have 2 weeks left.
But we and then there's like a tournament, and I'm like, I hope they just put us first so we can get eliminated and I can get my Sunday on.
Yeah.
Like, I can just move on.
Well, watch it be like some double elimination thing where it's like we have to wait until like another game played.
Nah.
I'll just be like, just tell them we quit. Be like, let's just go.
Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I've gotten my money worth.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're good. Yeah, so next week we play. We'll keep you guys posted. Going for our first win. We might win. We might have to recruit some talent, but we also might not have. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We are still the shortest team in the league by far.
Yes, 100%. Every team at least has one dude that's 6 foot, and our tallest person's 5'9".
Yeah, mine 5'10".
5'9". 5'10". I don't give a shit what the fuck your license says. That's what you fucking told them to put on there.
I should have said like 6'3". All right. Waste Management Open. What an event.
No hold ones on 16.
Was one on 7, right? Ricky Fowler got one on 7. None on 16, but they were like when Rahm drained like a long putt on 16, they all still threw beer cups. They're like, fuck it, we're not waiting for a hole in one. I saw like several beer cups got thrown. Scheffler wins again. Scottie Scheffler, back-to-back Waste Management champion. He wins at 19 under. I didn't think they would get as close to 19. I think we talked about this. We said it would be somewhere like 15 to 17, I thought.
Yeah.
Back to world number one after the win. But I think the real winner from this week is Nick Taylor, Canadian Nick Taylor. What a weekend for him. I think he's 33 years old. He wins $2.18 million. Finished, what, did he finish second?
Second.
Or third? Second. His total earnings in his last 28 events last season on the PGA Tour was $832,637. Just doubles that, triples that almost after winning this weekend. What sucks is this could be one of like the last underdog stories we get from these dedicated events, because it's sounding like the tour might go to a 70 to 80 person field, no cut, for these dedicated events. And like if that was the case, Nick Taylor wouldn't even been in the tournament. I think that's a mistake. I think people love stories like this. I went into the weekend not knowing who Nick Taylor was and found myself rooting for him down the stretch. So
no, it is, but like I think that's where the whole live kind of fucked the whole PGA, because of live. You have the same top guys golfing every single fucking week. You know what I mean? The PGA. That's what I like about the PGA is you have that flexibility on like, okay, well, I don't have to play every week. I mean, yeah, live is what, once every month or whatever it is. PGA, you don't have to play every weekend or whatever. I mean, it would suck to have stories like this run away, but it's the whole, when you look at it, a guy like Nick Taylor, he's not bringing in the money that you would have thought until someone like you, until like some people like us hear the story throughout the week and you're like, fuck yeah, I want this guy to win.
I think in all sports, the underdog story is great. I mean, I think that's why it works, right? Like, whenever there's, like, the emergency goalie that gets to come in, you're like, I hope he gets us safe. That would be great. So I agree. Like, I think that the tour is looking at it like what would ultimately make more money? A guaranteed event? We're going to have 20 out of the top 25 guys no matter what.
And those guys are going to bring you in that month. No matter what, you're probably going to make the same amount of money, whether you have 70 guys versus 140 and you actually have to have a cut.
Yeah. I think and I think it also makes the dedicated events better, because what it does is it puts an emphasis on your overall ranking, right? And so when you go and play one of these events that they're telling you have to play, you're going to walk away with at least 100,000. Because there's no cut, so
or at least one of the things like make these events to where it's like, okay, well the top 70 or the top 50 are all invited or all guaranteed invites. Everyone after that you have to be invited by whoever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think there'll always be sponsors exemptions. There'll always be guys that can Monday queue in and stuff, but. Just a cool story for Nick Taylor. He played on the Canadian Tour his first 3 seasons as a pro. He never won. He missed at Q School multiple times. He barely kept his Corn Ferry Tour card his first season with status. So just an ultimate, and that's what I don't think a lot of people realize. I mean, they know about the Schefflers and the Roy McIlroys and stuff. For a lot of guys, it's a grind out there. Like, you're just trying to make enough money to do this full time. So for the guys like, for Scheffler and all those guys who are obviously have won a bunch and they're household names now. Guys like Nick Taylor, he's 33. He's been doing this shit. You know what I mean? So just cool to see him compete. And I typically when you see a guy like Nick Taylor at the top of the leaderboard on Saturday and Sunday with names like Rahm and Jason Day behind him or Xander at one point, you're like, he's gonna crumble. That blow up hole's coming, and he never had it.
It's one of those things where after Sunday, I'm surprised in how spread apart that it actually was. Yeah. Like, Scheffler pretty much almost walked away with it. I mean, he pretty much did walk away with the tournament. He won
by 3, right?
He won by 2. But he was pretty much up 3 going into, I think, 18 or going into 17 or something like that.
It was a very low stress final 2 holes.
Yeah, it was one of those things where, like, after Saturday, and I saw Scheffler, Rahm, Day, Spieth was up there. You had Scheffler up there. You had
Yeah.
all these guys sitting at the top, like all these really great golfers. You're like, this is going to be a phenomenal Sunday.
That have been in the moment.
Yes.
Too, you know what I mean?
Yes. I was like, this is going to be a fucking great Sunday. I can't wait to get back from volleyball, get back, and I'm going to see 6 guys all within 3 strokes of each other. But it wasn't that. We got back, and Scheffler was up, I think, 2 or 3.
Yeah, I know on 17, Taylor had a chance to make a birdie putt to go within 1, and he missed it, and Scheffler birdied. So I think he was up 3 heading into the final.
Because that was a huge putt on 17. I remember because after he missed it, Scheffler fucking like ice in his veins
made his
fucking nailed that putt.
And Nick Taylor had about as good of a roll as you can. I mean, it was a full 360 lip out on 17. I mean, he literally thought he made it. You know what I mean? So that's just the golf guy.
I mean, he should be happy. He shot 65 in the final round. I mean, you shoot a 65 and you lose by 2. I mean, you can't do anything better than that. You can't beat Scheffler shot a 62. You had no control in what that guy shot. It's not like you can sit there and play defense on the guy.
Yeah, it would be like sneezing in his backstroke.
Right. I mean, he should walk away really happy. He shot a 65 on a Sunday with all these great golfers. Shit, you were in the final group. You were playing with Scheffler and Rahm. Yeah. 2 of the guys that they were saying whoever won that tournament or whoever did better in that tournament between the 2 guys was going to be the number 1 player in the world. And you went toe-to-toe with those 2 guys.
Yeah, and you also think about it like this too. Like overnight, over the course of a weekend, Nick Taylor just became, I don't want to say a superstar, but kind of a star for at least seemingly the next week. He's going to be on a ton of radio shows and podcasts. I mean, people are going to want to hear his story. So hopefully he parlays this into a nice little media deal, and we'll see. I mean, this happens all the time on the PGA Tour. You got guys that just get hot for 4 days, and they're like, well, where did this come from? So I think that's kind of the beauty of it. And that's what on a week-to-week basis, you never know who's going to win. So great tournament. Sucks we didn't see a hole in 1 at 16, but it was fun.
Some close. For next year. Some close.
Some very, very close. My dad was like, they should just they got to have an easy pin location on Sunday. Just let it happen. You know what I mean? I was like, he's like, just put it where there's
the day to have it happen is Saturday because that's the party day. If you're going to make it the easiest, you make it Sunday or Saturday.
I agree. He's like, can't they just do a little bowl, or if you just hit it at this ridge, it's going to feed right down into the bowl. I was like, we don't want to see 6 or 7 hole-in-ones. We just want to see 1.
Right.
So, and Kisner almost dunked it on the first day. I mean, we talked about that. So, but all right, let's get to the important part of the show. Most important part of the show, our last football recap of an awesome NFL season. Let's cue the music. Okay, Super Bowl 57. Chiefs win 38-35 in a
phenomenal game.
Great game.
Phenomenal game. Stat for you. Didn't know this until today, and I was surprised when I heard this. This is the first Super Bowl ever that both teams scored at least 35 points.
Really?
Yeah, look it up. No Super Bowl ever that both. Yes, one team may have scored over 35, but this is the first Super Bowl ever where both teams have scored 35 plus points.
Yeah, I thought it was. That's it. I wouldn't have believed that.
That's a great trivia question.
It's a good trivia question. The game kind of didn't go the way a lot of people thought it was. Mahomes Hurts is the one that slung it around, throwing it all over the field. We kind of thought the Eagles were going to be more of a run-heavy team, and it was complete opposite. Pacheco ran all over the Eagles, and Mahomes didn't even reach 225 passing yards. So
right. He didn't even hit 200.
Yeah. So very, very, the game, I thought, I don't know, maybe you disagree. I thought the biggest play, there's 2 plays that really, really stand out as far as how big they were. Obviously, the strip fumble return when the Eagles looked like they were going to go up 14. That was huge. That tied the game at 14. I felt like that was kind of leveled out the momentum. The Eagles looked like they were going to run away with it at that point. And then obviously the Kadarius Toney punt return. That was he cuts it all the way back across the field and basically gets him goal to go. Longest punt return ever in a Super Bowl. That really, I mean, when you can't give Mahomes like on the 3-yard line. I mean, like
Oh, fuck no.
what are we talking about? So I thought those in my mind were two of the bigger plays of the game. And shout out to Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid. They called a great game in the second half. I think they're the team that made the most adjustments. And they're the team that ultimately, obviously, won the game.
There was an octopus. That means a player scored all 8 points on a drive. Jalen Hurts. I'm pretty sure Jalen Hurts got it.
Oh, when they went for 2?
When they went for 2.
Yeah. Oh, you could have bet on that, actually.
You could have bet on it, I know. I didn't know that was a thing until after it happened.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I was at a Super Bowl party, got pretty loose, and so unfortunately I didn't get to hear a ton of the broadcast. Watched the entire game, but it was just loud. What'd you think about the halftime show?
It was a good halftime show. I liked it. I mean, I heard some people didn't like it. I mean, I really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part,
a pregnant fucking woman, she did a great job.
Yeah, I thought it was good. I didn't mind. I mean, it was all right. I mean, Rihanna's not like my favorite artist of all time. I will say I thought the national anthem was amazing.
Was phenomenal. Like, you have to rank that as one of the greatest of all times.
I agree. And then you saw the video of Sirianni just bawling during the national anthem.
Yep.
He was just crying. It's like, that's a football guy right there.
100%.
That's a football guy.
100%.
We got to talk about it. The field, Casey.
Horrible. Well, it's because they fucking. I heard it was because they put extra paint on the line, or they put like paint, what was it?
No, McAfee was talking about this today. It had nothing to do with the paint. That was like just a rumor, and people on Twitter trying to figure it out themselves. The paint wasn't the issue. So I'll just tell you this: NFL spent 2 years preparing the grass for this field at Super Bowl. 2 years. The grass was grown at a local sod farm there in Phoenix. It was installed 2 weeks ago, and the field had been rolled out each morning for daily sunshine. They can actually take the field out of the stadium. Total cost the NFL $800,000. Failed experiment. Whatever they did didn't work. I mean, a lot of players it was like playing on an ice ring out there. The good thing is
Jalen Hurts changed his cleats.
Yeah,
mid-game.
and based on what I was hearing today on a few shows, was that the cleats that they put on more is like what an offensive lineman would use, because they have like that really thick,
and they can get into the ground or whatever.
They're heavier. They're like supposed to be heavier. Despite the field being an ice rink, and it was quite evident the field was falling apart. Both teams got the 35 points. I mean, it didn't take away from how good the football was for the most part. Obviously, a lot of bitching about the PI or holding call at the end of the game that essentially sealed it for the Chiefs.
But the way I look at it, I saw a quote about that. I actually really fucking like it. Let me find it, actually. Because I 100% agree with this quote about that. The Philadelphia Eagles did not lose because of that late flag. That late flag put the game away. It put the game away 100%. But that's not the reason why the Chiefs won that game.
They blew a 10-point lead.
They blew a 10-point lead.
Yeah, and they had plenty of opportunities. They also couldn't stop. Like, I think the Chiefs scored on every possession.
The second half.
Yeah, sorry,
the Chiefs scored on every single possession the second half. I mean, it was just it's one of those things. You can't blow a 10-point lead in the second half, and you can't allow the team you played against to score every possession if you're not scoring every possession with them.
Yeah, couldn't get a stop. Win for me. One, I got exactly what I wanted. A great football game. Yes. I didn't really necessarily who cared. The thing was my dad he bet Chiefs money line, so that innately I was like, wow, I'm rooting for my dad to win some money. You know what I mean? Like, that innately kind of gave me, and I like Andy Reid, so I do like Patrick Mahomes. I was cool with the Chiefs winning, but if the Eagles won, I was gonna be like, that's fine with me too. I was an Eagles fan growing up. Like, they were like my second favorite team after the Lions. So I will say, Philadelphia fans crazy. They were flipping cars before the game even started. Did you
Dude,
see that video?
just imagine
That
what would have happened to Philly if they would have actually won.
no, I mean, I remember when they won the Super Bowl with Foles, they had to grease the light poles so people weren't able to climb up there.
Well, they were greased. Well, they did that for the World Series.
They did it for the World Series. So Philly they know we have a containable and controllable fan base. We have to grease our light poles so our city doesn't burn down.
No, it was so funny. Like there was
level,
videos all Sunday, like city workers just sitting out there with paintbrushes, just fucking painting, fucking greasing every single light pole because they know what's gonna happen in Philly if they actually win.
So disgusting, dude. That's so disgusting. I can't believe that.
Like, just imagine, think about it. They're not wiping it down after the game. Think about it. The poles are just greased. And it's going to get raining. It's just going to get disgusting in the city of Philly.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was nuts. Obviously, like we said, it was a good game. The one thing I will say, and I'm not a big blame the refs guy. Like, I will say, like, the Seahawks game.
There's only certain games you can.
When it's like very, very, very obvious,
like like the Saints, AFC champion or NFC PI. Was blatant. That definitely changed the game.
Directly affected the outcome.
Yes.
Of that, yeah. And it never comes down to one play, but like in some instances, like that one play makes or breaks the game. I will say the one thing that bothered me the most about the call is that it was the only defensive holding call all game, and that leads me to believe they were letting a lot of stuff slide. And you can't call everything, that you don't see everything as a ref. It just sucks that it feels like the narrative is always about the referee in a big game like this. And that's why, like, I don't know. Again, the corner for the Eagles admitted after the fact that he held him. He said that to the reporter.
No, but it's one of those things to where and I was talking to a guy at work about this. That call is not getting called in the first quarter or the second quarter or maybe the third quarter.
Well, if you don't call it then you especially shouldn't call it in the fourth, in my opinion.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, that call's not happening in the first quarter. But it's like, I get calling it if that dude's jersey 100% got pulled. Yes, you can tell his hand was on his jersey, and he did have a small tug of it. But was Juju really going to catch that ball?
I don't know.
And I just don't. I don't think that was that much of a tug to where Juju was going to catch that ball. His hand was on him 100%, but like he didn't pull, in my opinion. If that shirt 100% got pulled like this, and you saw that, 100% fucking throw that.
And
that was a ticky-tack call.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a little ticky-tacky. I do agree with that. I'm glad we both agree that still didn't decide the game.
No, it did. It did.
They blew it. But it put the game away. I agree with that. Also, the thing with some of these holding calls, like from a fan's perspective, some of the angles make it look really bad, and some of the angles you're like, that was nothing. So we just need to get better when you show the replays and stuff like that, because at first I was like, no way. Then they showed one angle that looked so, and granted, it's in slow-mo, so it looks like he's holding him for way longer. And, I don't know. They got to get better at that, and I think that would help the outcry for a lot of fans. Like, yeah, if you're an Eagles fan, that's an easy thing to point to. I would say you blew a 10-point lead and you couldn't
stop them.
Absent defensively in the second quarter.
Your red zone defense looked atrocious.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about that. Good game. Where do you think this ranks as far as like?
I would say top 5.
Ever.
Yeah,
it's up there. I mean,
what? You have the. It's obviously hard for me to say because I've only been alive for 27 of them, and realistically, I've only been able to realistically watch, we'll say, about maybe 20 of them, maybe 24 of them. You know what I mean?
I don't remember. Yeah, I will say I think in my at least in my lifetime, the 28-3 comeback's got to be the best ever because that was crazy.
Oh, 100%. That's definitely up there. The Giants one is up there for me.
That's fair.
Patriots when they beat, it was one of their first two. I always get them mixed up. Whatever one It was I think it was like a game-winning field goal they won. It was either the Rams or the Panthers that they played.
Rams. Yeah. I don't know. There's been some good ones. I would say that the other Eagles one's up there with the Philly special. That one was
That
good.
one's up there. The Patriots Seahawks with the Malcolm Butler interception at the end.
Yeah, that one was nuts. Like, why are you throwing the football? That's still the craziest play call in Super Bowl history. I don't care.
One of the worst. Patriots Rams 2019.
What was that? The one where they lost by like 40?
No, that was the 13-3 one.
What's the one where I think it was Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl? They
dude. His first one. Oh, I thought you were talking about his Denver one. Oh, no, they kicked the shit out of him. Or, yeah, his Denver one. Denver-Seattle, 43-8.
Yeah, that one was not great.
That one was not fun to watch.
And then the one where Cam Newton made it, they got their asses kicked as well.
Yep, 24-10. That was when Denver beat him. It was just Denver controlled that game.
I just remember the thing that stands out that game is when Newton fumbled and didn't want to dive on the football. He was like, nah, I'm not doing that. DeMarcus Ware's right there. I'm not doing that. Or Von Miller, whoever it was. There's got to be some other ones. I feel like there was another one recently where there was a game-winning drive. I thought last year's was good. The Rams-Bengals one ended up being
another one that was good. 2009, Pittsburgh, Arizona. That's the Santonio Holmes fucking catch in the end zone.
Yeah.
That was a fucking phenomenal
That was
game.
in Detroit.
Nope. Pittsburgh played Seattle and Detroit. Sean Alexander. That one wasn't really that good of a Super Bowl. Steelers won 21-10.
That was before 2009, wasn't it?
That was 2007. Six.
Yeah. That's right.
I remember that. I went to that NFL experience that year.
Yeah.
That was a ton of fun. They needed a Super Bowl in Detroit again.
We don't have the infrastructure here, unfortunately. We need more hotels downtown.
Well, they had one 10 years or 20 years. 20 years.
Right. A lot changes in 20 years. Imagine like when you go to a city like Atlanta or Phoenix, there's just so much more to do. I don't know.
It'll come around. Because
the next thing that I know the city's trying to host is the Final Four.
They already got it. I'm pretty sure.
In like 3 years.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's coming up in.
When do we host the draft?
Next year.
So not this coming draft.
2024, I'm pretty sure.
That's going to be hype. We're going to have to, if we're still doing the show, which I'm assuming we will be, we'll have to do like man on the street and interview some people down there.
Yes.
That'd be
2027 is when the Final Four is coming to Detroit.
Okay.
It's going to be at Ford Field. See, that's fucking stupid. Why are you having it at Little Caesars?
Because the surrounding areas of Little Caesars sucks. And I think they can fit.
It's the same fucking area.
They can no, it's across the bridge, across the road. They can fit way more. I mean, Little Caesars only can fit like 18,000 people. So, I think.
But it's the basketball game is going to look horrible there.
Well, yeah, I remember when they hosted when Michigan State played, and my 8th grade math teacher went, and he goes, "It sucked because they didn't have like floor seats. Like they're like
yeah."
You're just watching on the Jumbotron, essentially.
One of my parents' friends used to work for, like, Coke or someone back then, and, like, she said she went to the Final Four back then. She said it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was like, you were better off watching the game at home because you had a better view.
I'm the older I get, the less I hate going to sporting events.
The less
like, there are some, the more I hate going. Like
okay, I was good. That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah. They are fun, like in like here and there, but like I really enjoy having my own drinks or beverages or snacks, my own bathroom, and like a TV that I can turn up or down as loud as I want. And especially like with us doing this show and stuff, granted, yeah, it was a party yesterday and like it was fun. Like there were multiple times where like I wasn't talking to anyone because I'm taking notes on my phone of shit I want to make sure we talk about.
Right.
And like that's a different experience. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but like Yeah, there was like I stood by the TV. They had 3 TVs going in the basement, but I stood by one so I could hear as much of the broadcast as possible. Because the thing that sucked is I didn't get to enjoy a lot of the Super Bowl commercials because it was commercials time to make
They
sure
weren't
Kelsey
that
was
good.
good.
That
I
fucking
will TV
Tubi
one.
one. That fucking
Oh,
Tubi one pissed me off. Dude, I'm sitting there. And it's like commercial came on. I was like, let me check my phone real fast. I look up and I'm fucking freaking out. I'm like, who the hell is in my place changing shit?
yeah, dude. Literally, we're sitting there, and granted, I will say by that commercial, I was pretty fuzzed up, and it was pretty obvious that we were going to Uber home or get a ride. I was like, I'm not driving, and so I'm sitting there, and my mouth just starts to go. I'm like, who's fucking with the TV? And one of the guys that's in my golf league starts telling me, goes, it's a commercial. I said, that's no commercial. I said, who's fucking with the TV? And then it cut, and my face got so red. I was like, I cannot be the only person that got duped by that. Everyone's laughing at me. So I go on my phone ready to text you guys, and you would text me like, that commercial just screwed up. I said, see, my best friend got duped by it too. It's not just on me.
No, like
So
when you went on
so
Twitter, dude. When you went on Twitter, there were people were going nuts over that. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I saw a video. There was it looked like they were at college watching the Super Bowl, like a big party, and that commercial went on. They're like flipping the couch upside down, like who's got the remote? It was so funny. I saw so many good videos of that. But yeah, other than that, I mean, my overall thing based on Twitter, I think this is a case in the last 4 or 5 years. I think all the commercials they used to be so good. And
Well, it's just to watch what you
years,
do. Like, I used to love the Doritos commercials.
I used to like the Budweiser commercial.
Yes.
Or the Coca-Cola always had a good commercial.
The Coke one had used to have a really, really good long one, but it's like, well, when it costs you $7 million for 30 seconds, you kind of watch what you put.
Yeah. Well, also, not just that, but also if you're Coke, you're like, are people going to buy more Coke because we spent $7 million on a Super Bowl commercial? I think we're probably pretty good. You know what I mean? Like,
I used to love the Coke ones, the Budweiser one. Dude, my favorite Doritos one is the one where they go into the they're about to have a kid, and the dude is going like this with the Doritos, and the fucking kid jumps out of the womb. Have you seen that one?
Oh yeah. That one's good. That one was funny. Yeah, those Dorito ones were so out of pocket.
100%. Way out of pocket. It's like The Office. You can't air that shit nowadays.
Yeah.
People would stop buying Doritos.
My dad wanted to watch this movie from like 93 the other day. He's like, it's just one you need to see. And I was like, I don't care. Let's watch it. Some of the stuff that was being said in this movie, I said, I don't care if it's rated R or not. You would not put that into a movie nowadays. Like, it was just like highly inappropriate.
Right.
And I was like, oh, look how far we've come. Everyone thinks we haven't come far in society. You don't think so? Go watch a movie in the 80s and tell me we haven't developed, okay? Like, oh, my gosh. But I agree. It was a good Super Bowl. Obviously, Mahomes takes home the MVP. I don't know if I've said this. He's the only quarterback from the Big 12 to ever win a Super Bowl.
I'm surprised by that.
I thought that was crazy. Yeah. Like, even with like how historic Oklahoma's been and stuff, I'm like, what do you mean?
And Texas and all that.
Right. That was surprising to me. Andy Reid dispelled all rumors that he's retiring. He confirmed that he will be back. And then Chad Henne with maybe the coolest post of all time. He grabbed a Bud Light and he goes, I got the trophy, got a cold beer. I'm riding off to the sunset on this one, boys. Cheers. So Chad Henne calling it quits after a great backup career, I would say.
Yeah.
What a life that
He made a shit ton of money just sitting on a bench. Good job. I mean, look, I would love to do that. If I can be a backup quarterback in the NFL, make a couple mil a year, you maybe go in the occasional game or two.
Yeah, and the thing is he had his time where he started, like with the Dolphins.
Well, yeah.
It's not like he can ever say, like, oh, if I only had my chance. Like, no, he was really well aware of his abilities and what his role was, and he did about just as well as anyone has in the history of the league. So good for Henne.
Greatest backup quarterback of all time.
Yeah, arguably. Him and what's the other guy that the Lions had for a little bit? He was on the Bears for a long time. He's made a ton of money. I can't remember his name. It'll come to me, but
who I know who you're thinking of.
Yeah, it's gonna kill me, man. Chase Daniel.
Chase Daniel. Yep.
Yeah, he's made a ton of money. He's like top 60 of all time NFL money list. It's
Yep.
nuts. It's nuts how much he's made as a backup. That's crazy. But I'd say that I think the biggest thing that disappointed me was just like they spent all that money on the field, and it seemingly again it didn't affect the outcome, but it sucks. Like I'm glad no one got hurt. But yeah, it was a good game. It was a good game.
It was a great game.
Do you think this dispels any like Jalen Hurts hater talk now because he threw for 300 yards?
No.
Is he a top 5 quarterback?
No. Right now?
Yeah.
No. Mahomes, Allen,
Burrow.
I have to look at the league because I'm forgetting dudes.
Deshaun Watson.
Rodgers.
Yeah, Rodgers.
Until he's out of the league, you have to throw him in that category.
Yeah.
If I'm starting a team, I would take, Jalen Hurts over Aaron Rodgers just because of
age.
But as of right now, I have to put Aaron Rodgers up there. Oh shit! So you have Allen, Burrow, Mahomes, Rodgers.
Herbert can't be up there. It's got to be Hurts. I think Hurts made the top 5 after that performance, man.
Yeah, now I'm looking at the league. You have to put him up there.
You have to, right? He earned it. Although
Tua, no. Jones, no. Wilson, no. Lamar, no.
No way.
Watson, no. What's his name for Pittsburgh?
Murray, no. Pickett, no.
Lawrence, no.
Tannehill, no.
No. Houston, no. No.
Yeah, it's got to be. I will say this. He got a lot of hate for his last throw of the game. But I think he slipped.
I still
don't think he would have made it all the way to the end zone.
Fuck no.
It was a 70-yard pass. But I do think he slipped, which made it look like, well, he can only throw it 40 yards. But I watched it a lot on Twitter today because people were like, maybe arm strength really is a question. You can always find something to nitpick. But to me, it looked like he slipped. It looked like his foot slipped on the throw. So, but what a Super Bowl, man! Anything surprise you?
Other than Mahomes Mahomes got hurt. So it's one of those things. It didn't look like he was hurt at all the second half, really. But he did get hurt, so who knows how much that played a role. But I thought he was going to have a hell of a game.
I thought over 242 or whatever it was a lock.
Yes. Hurts side, I felt like he was going to throw the ball a shit ton. Rushing wise, I knew he was going to. We both thought that he was going to fucking rush the shit ton.
All over.
Yeah, all over.
Yeah.
And that's what he did.
Yeah, I just can't get over that fumble, man. That was something. Did you think that was a catch?
What?
The one, I don't know if it was Devontae Smith or A.J. Brown. They ended up ruling that it wasn't. But he got hit by a Chiefs player right away, and they would have returned it again for a touchdown. I didn't think that was a catch.
Oh, it's about the incomplete pass? Yeah, no, that wasn't a catch at all. No. You didn't give him enough time.
Yeah. I thought it was pretty obvious. My dad said he was screaming at the TV because obviously he had the Chiefs, and he was like, that was a catch. I said, it wasn't a catch.
It was an incomplete pass, 100%.
It was one of those things where at the Super Bowl party we had 15 people around. All 15 people agreed it wasn't a catch. I said, if us all 15 are saying that, then this should be easy on the NFL. Because it's not like there was we saw the replay and everyone was like, no, that's not a catch. And
no, it's not.
This is the quintessential of guys at the bar can agree on it. Then it shouldn't be that hard for the NFL. So I'm glad they got that right. There was something else I was going to say. I was going to say in Mahomes, that scramble, that 20-yard scramble after he got hurt, that kills you if you're an Eagles fan.
That hit my over rushing yards for him. I had to parlay him over 18.5 and Hurts.
Did you win anything yesterday?
I pretty much, that was plus money. Plus money in all my parlays.
My dad won. He hit on both. He hit on 2 squares.
Nice.
He won the first quarter and third quarter, I think, which is good. That was hype. But yeah, that does it for football season.
Yeah, sad day. Now we have to ramp up, start talking about basketball, and baseball season's right around the corner. And hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey, too. And golf.
The good thing is I expect this to be a rather exciting NFL offseason, especially locally for the Lions. So I think that we'll still have plenty of football.
Oh, speaking about the Lions, I forgot to bring this up. Super Bowl odds are out. Guess where the Lions are?
The 12th best odds, right?
7th best.
7th best odds.
They're at plus 2,500.
Yep, I saw that. And they also, they're okay. So they have the 7th best odds, but the thing I saw, they were ranked heading into next season as the power rankings. They had them 12th or 11th, maybe something like that. And I think their prediction was 11-6.
I mean, I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I would too. I think 11-6 wins the North.
Yeah.
So that's weird territory as a Lions fan. Like you just said, the 7th best Super Bowl odds, and I don't even want to hear that. I like it better when we're underdogs because.
No, it made me happy. It made me happy. I mean, it's showing me that things are actually changing.
Yeah, we have the league's on notice.
Yes.
Yeah, the league's on notice for sure.
But
obviously, we'll cover quite a bit. Yep.
I didn't mean to do that.
Say, obviously, we'll talk plenty about the Lions offseason going forward. That's all I was going to say.
Yeah.
All right. See you guys.
We actually have music this time.
Powered by Riverside.
Fuck Riverside.
Yeah, chill.
Dude, the past 3 shows have been because of them. Riverside. Love you guys.
Love you guys.